In order to do that, we must change our minds, be willing to scrape our identity, and make the extra efforts to always find more in order to become more. We must remove our governor. It's David Goggins. Can't hurt me. My name is Herna.
And this is Harris.
And this is the Power of H Show, episode 6. And today, ladies and gents, finally got a guest that I've been wanting to put on the show for about a month now. We were supposed to have you a while ago already, but so I have Jared Long here, and Jared, I know you from work, but I also know you're an avid person who, in conspiracies. You also happen to train in what was in the martial arts. What's it called?
Marapati Putti.
Marapati Putti. You're an avid hiker, runner. You work out, and you also like to get tatted.
Right on. Those are the kind of people I mess around with.
And you've also dabbled in psychedelics as well, like the both of us. So it's just a pleasure to finally have you here, man. And so
pleasure to be here.
I guess where we have to start is just like, you grew up in Ogden.
Yes, sir.
So what do you love most about Ogden, man?
The mountains.
Yeah,
dude, that's exactly what I said.
Yeah, I spent a hell of a lot of time up there. It's kind of interesting to be up there and kind of get a broad view of the town that you grew up in. It's got a lot that I find in every city that I've ever been to. You can kind of find here in Ogden.
Yeah,
and one thing that I always find hilarious about anybody that's from any other city in Utah is they talk a lot of shit on Ogden.
They do.
You go to whatever city they're from, and you're gonna find a street just like the streets here in Ogden.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about it too. Is you get this wide range of personalities and cultures and all that. And I think, at least in my experience that I've had here, most recently anyway, we, meshed that shit together fairly well. I've seen a lot of the crime rates and the violence and stuff that I grew up with go way down.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. There's like cameras everywhere now, bro.
God, dude, isn't that crazy?
It's fucking everywhere.
It's a shame that it has to come to that in order for people to pull their heads out of their asses.
Yeah, bro.
Is it really though?
It is. It's what the world's coming to, man.
I feel like you just see a lot more cops here. That's for sure.
Right? That's
very true. Very true.
And the thing about, especially like down on 25th, where like near where I work at, it's just like that whole place, the junction, everything's just been cleaned up. It feels like.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Agreed.
Yeah, Ogden has had quite the facelift the last couple of years.
It has, bro. It really has.
Yeah.
There's a guy who came in, who dropped off this banner. I had ordered a banner to be made for this shop. And the guy, he came in and was just like, yeah, I mean, this place is just turning nice, man. And with this whole COVID-19 shit, just, damn, it put a halt right on it. Like,
yeah.
Fuck, right. It is.
That is true,
Because the thing about Ogden, the slice about Ogden is like it has this slice of cake of the ghetto in it, too.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like between, like, right here, between 36 down to, like, 12th. Mm-hmm. Between Wall and like Monroe.
Yeah, just in the dark corners.
Yeah, there's like a little slice of cake that's all ghetto. And then the rest is like, the people are like, oh, I'm scared to come to Ogden. No, you're scared to come to like that little slice of Ogden that is the ghetto.
That's true.
So, Jared, I want to get into something though that you and I have been talking big, and then Nick or Harris, you.
I get it, dude.
Yeah, bro. Harris, you and I have been talking about fucking. Is like this whole COVID-19 thing. So I kind of want to get you like your perspective on it, because obviously you and I have gone back and forth on what the fuck is really going on.
Dude, it's a fucking shitstorm.
Yeah,
that's a good way of putting it.
That's putting it lightly. Like, and I've been almost become fanatic about it the last couple of weeks.
It's easy to do that.
I've got like 5 or 6 people that I'm in constant communication with about this whole thing. We're constantly knocking ideas back and forth, sharing articles, sharing movies and stuff. And one thing that I've come to realize, and this is just within the last couple of days since we talked last, and I'm starting to think that this could be a little bit more serious than we were originally kind of saying, because we were talking about before how me and you, we're incredibly healthy, we stay active, and all that shit, but there's been more and more cases of healthy people getting it and whatnot. But regardless of the severity of the disease, regardless of how widespread it really is. It is undeniable that there is so much manipulation in this situation, so much widespread fake news and fear propaganda going out there.
Oh, yeah.
There is something fucking very big going on behind the scenes.
I agree with you. Yeah, there's a much bigger picture.
And so for anybody listening to this, I really recommend that now is the time here within these next couple of weeks to do as much research as you can and get as many people aware of what could possibly go down. Because if you look at the certain bills that are being passed right now, you have the HR 5717, which is the big gun grab that all of the people that want the guns gone, this is the big bill that they've been trying to push to get all the guns gone. Okay. Everybody I've talked to about that says it's not going to happen. It's going to be civil war.
Right.
Okay. I agree. But this civil war is going to take place after certain other bills pass. So we have what's called the Earn It bill that's going through Congress right now as well, which is we're going to basically decrypt the internet. And the reason that they want to do this is to get rid of child porn. But what this is going to do is this is going to make it so that nothing on the internet is private. You won't be able to, the government will be able to look at every single phone call, message, picture, everything.
You don't believe that they can do that now?
Oh, no, I believe that they can do it now. It's just this is going to give them the legitimate capabilities of saying, okay, well, now we're doing this. And now we have a reason to do it.
Just puts their face on it.
Exactly, more or less. It's so that when we find out later on, we're not going to panic.
Okay,
you know? And so
ease them into it.
Exactly. And it also kind of justifies them giving the reason to survey us.
Okay.
You know, and so you have the Earn It bill, the HR 5717, and then you have what's called Agenda ID 2020. And that is where they want to remove all currency as far as paper money goes, and they want to make all currency digital.
Yeah, I've heard about that. David Icke was talking about that.
Exactly, and that's farther down the road. That's when they want to implant everybody with chips and all of your identity, all of your currency,
or your phones. Your phones. That's where I'm finding a lot of it.
Doing that. There's actually already doing that. They have a program where they are measuring how much people are social distancing themselves by your phone.
Yeah.
They're using the GPS in your phone to see if people are social distancing in Utah or not. Okay. And now a lot of people believe that, there's some benevolence to this at work. They have the best interest of the public.
Bro.
That's the thing. Dude, that is what it is. That is what they are trying to push. That is what they're trying to push.
Right.
Me, personally, I think they care about as much about us as as a farmer would care about his cattle.
Okay, let me fill this in with a story real quick.
Yes, please.
Okay, so my father, my entire life, has told me stories. Okay, so dating back, I don't exactly remember the rank or whatever, but I actually have I think it's a great uncle that was a nuclear physicist in World War II. Okay, definitely high up in the chains. I mean, he did all kinds of. He was actually sworn to secrecy on a lot of projects that he worked on, that he was a part of. And so he became a big conspiracy nut himself, because he says that he couldn't go into the details because when he was telling it, he died and lost his mind. But he says that he was within Area 51 during World War II. He said that he actually got permitted access to go in there and do research on different, pieces inside. And he was telling me, or not me, my dad was telling me that he heard a story from this great uncle or whatever that, the big tension between America and Russia. There was always this big tension. We were almost going to go to war, and then we almost weren't. And he says that Russia, their big thing was communism.
Right.
They were devout communists. That we all just kind of came out of the same pile. We were all in this together. And he says that during this time, communism was a big thing trying to be fought in America. We cannot let this come. We cannot lose diplomacy. We have to be able to maintain the system that we have. If they take over, we're all going to be communists. Then we're screwed. And what he told my dad way back when was that when Russia does wind up coming over and taking over, and I'm not saying that this is all linked to Russia or whatever, he just said that this in the middle of World War II, he said that when they do come over and they decide to take control, it's going to happen with a snap of a finger. He said no one's going to fire a gun. It's not going to be a big drawn out, oh God, they're taking over. It's not going to be some Red Dawn scenario. That it's going to happen with a snap of a finger. And communism will take over in America, and we will fall. And people will happily let this happen. And this is a story that I've been told my entire life. I mean, next time we talk to my dad, you'll have to ask him. Seriously, he goes on to say, back since World War II, that they will take over within a snap of a finger. And the people will let them. They will happily allow it. And that is exactly what's going on today. People are actually in favor of somebody else just take over. I just want to stay inside. Somebody needs to be dealing with it outside. I'm going to stay inside my house, and I want somebody to come in here and take over and just deal with all this bullshit, you know? And they are letting people just...
It's not the first time in history it's happened either.
Right? You know? I mean, well, to this extreme, yes, absolutely. First time.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you know what I mean? I mean, we've got people like... My mom, for a good example, was going through Facebook. And she saw somebody going, oh, man, I just really wish that they would just... You know, mandatory quarantine us all. That way we all have to stay inside and just have somebody come in, have the military come in and just take over. My mom was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, what? You know, like, what the hell? You know, like, what leads you to believe that they're just going to come in and just be like, okay, well, we're only going to hold all your freedom in a basket, okay, and we're just going to hold on to this, and we're going to take care of this, and we'll just give it back to you when you're ready. Yeah. Like, nowhere in any of this shit does it state that when they take your freedoms away, that they have to give them back. Nowhere does it say any of that. Yep. All the bills it's going through, a mandatory curfew, they're making people stay at home. Dude, in California, they're shutting people's businesses down by cutting water and electricity to that location. You have no water and electricity, you have to go home. Yeah. They're making people go home. What the fuck? Yeah. I mean, like, what the hell, dude?
It's really scary almost.
It is pretty freaky, dude.
Especially for like us who kind of like question everything that is kind of like
those of us that are like, looking past the right now.
Yeah.
That's what I've found is a pretty common thing. If you're not looking at exactly what's happening right now, if you're looking at the bigger picture, none of it makes sense.
Exactly.
None of it makes sense. None of what anything is doing, like, it's crazy. Get me all triggered over here, bro.
Yeah, Jared and I went off about it too, man. We were like, what the fuck, dude? Never, man. There's our Constitution was, you know, and it was written for a reason, bro.
Right.
Our Declaration, like everything, dude, like that. It's almost like people are forgetting where we came from. Bro.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's what it is.
But think about how intelligently this has been laid out. It's not exactly okay. Schools right now, they don't do the Pledge of Allegiance every day. Did you know that?
I didn't know they stopped that.
Elementary schools, junior highs, high schools, they do it once a month. They do it once a month in like an auditorium type setting. They'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. They don't have morning announcements, okay, or you know it being said during morning announcements. They just have their announcements.
Wow.
Okay, think about it in high school. Did you do the pledge every day?
Did we do the pledge every day?
They expected us to. I know I didn't. Did you expected me to?
Did you do it?
No, not all the time. I stopped about like when I hit about 15 years old is when I kind of woke up to like, okay, I'm not fucking free.
Right? But I mean like that right now isn't happening.
Yeah.
You know, there was something what happened. God, I want to say it was like the Super Bowl or something. They did the Pledge of Allegiance, and I like listened to it, and I was like, wow, it's been a minute since I heard this song. I was like, wait a minute. Why the fuck has it been so long since I heard this song? You know? I mean, like, they've been slowly... No, you don't need to be patriotic. You don't need that. That's racist. That's cruel. That limits people. Yeah. For you to be completely 100% patriotic in America... You could talk to anybody, and somebody will come back at you and saying, well, that's racist. Excuse me?
Or that's sexist.
That's sexist.
That's sexist.
How dare you? That's not cool. And it's like, wait a minute. What the fuck? I'm not allowed to have pride in where I live, where I come from, you know, in the country that I'm fighting and serving for and working for every damn day, paying taxes to. I can't be proud of that shit.
Well, that's one thing I do notice is, like, we don't take pride in...
Yeah.
In being American, and you know what? I used to be that way too. Like I used to not take pride,
right?
But then it's just like, yo, we have something so good here, but now with everything going to shit so quick, it's like, man, we're losing it, bro.
We're losing it quick, and people aren't entirely noticing it because they're not paying attention to it every day.
No.
It's not being brought up. The news isn't talking about it every day because they don't want you to hear about it.
No.
They don't want people to be freaking dedicated to America. You know, follow your orders and do what you got to do, but don't give a shit about America.
Don't ask too many questions.
Don't ask too many questions. Right? Just do what the fuck I said and do it now. You know.
Yeah. And what's crazy too is a lot of people, and I've talked to a lot of people too, like especially gun owners, gun collectors.
Right.
They say, well, they're gonna when they, because we've talked about the scenario where we're all locked down in our homes and they start going door to door, confiscating guns, confiscating what are now considered non-essential items, which is basically anything you don't need to survive.
Right.
Like in Vermont, I don't know if you've learned it recently in Vermont, they made it the sale of any kind of seeds illegal. It is. It's, I guess, not technically illegal. It's prohibited.
Okay.
That's the double speak.
Wait. The seeds of like
anything.
plants.
Food.
What?
Yeah.
Vermont.
Yeah. Look it up.
Yeah, Vermont's a very heavily forested area.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they've got a lot of rich dirt. A lot of places where you can actually plant shit. So I mean, that's sketchy.
See, and the thing with
fuck.
that is if you notice, anytime something like this comes around, they start doing it in little places here and there.
Gotta test the waters.
Exactly. They gotta not only test the waters, but they gotta kind of plant the seeds in people's minds,
right.
to tell them that it's acceptable and that
they gotta
it's normal,
slowly
and it's necessary,
desensitize them.
and all these people that say, oh well, this is going to happen over my dead body. Oh, we're going to mobilize. We're going to fight this. What are you going to do when your entire community is locked in their houses, depending on food from the military?
Right.
They can cut off all of your utilities at any second. And then there's tanks driving up and down the street. You think you're going to fight?
Right.
No.
And this is communism.
Yeah, no, this is the beginning stages of it.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if you've looked into communism at all. If you want to, there's actually a really, really good book by George Orwell called Animal Farm. Okay, George Orwell was very popularly known for doing science fiction, dystopian futures and stuff like this. And
he wrote 1984.
He wrote 1984, exactly.
Yeah.
That's one he's very well known for.
Right.
But he also did one called Animal Farm. And I actually did the audiobook. And essentially, it's like communism displayed out using farm animals and a farm. And I mean, it's set up so like it's kind of like communism for dummies, Right. And it's set up like the rise of communism and the fall of communism in a farm, right? And so the communists they're depicted as the pigs, and the pigs one day they're out there with the farmer and he's doing all the farming chores and using the horses to plow the fields and everything. And they looked up and they went, "Wait a minute, we don't need the farmers. We could do this ourselves. We could operate the farm." So they decide, okay, let's overthrow the farmer. We don't need him anymore. We don't need the farmer to do anything anymore. We're going to chase him off. So we're going to get the horse, and we're going to get all the other animals, and we're going to go and chase these guys off. So they do. And the pigs, they take over. They are now essentially treated as kings. But they're divvying out all the supplies to the other farm animals, and everybody's in this. We're all a team, and they lay out initial rules in the very beginning. Rules that will keep them safe. Rules that everyone will abide by, otherwise they're going to die, okay? And then as throughout the progression of the book, the pigs, they kind of, they set up that as farm animals, we will never do anything that, the humans, we're not going to wear human clothes, we're not going to sleep on their beds, we're animals, so we're going to maintain this. Then the pigs, they start making money and they start getting nice clothes, and then, they don't like sleeping out in the mud, so they're going to go into the farmer's hut and they're going to sleep in his bed, and then the rules all of a sudden start changing, and people are going, wait a minute, we had 4 basic rules. But now we got add-ons that the pigs are an exception to do this, and they're allowed to do certain things that us other farm animals aren't allowed to. We're supposed to farm, and we're supposed to produce for the pigs, and the pigs kind of don't really have to do anything. So then the farm animals kind of slowly start going, wait a minute, now we're really in this deep. Like we can't really get out of this. There's nowhere for us to go. We're the animals. This is our home, and now we're ran by pigs, and they ultimately have the say, and it's a really, really, really good book, and it's just set up so well that it describes to you the rise of communism, how easy it is for it to take over, and then how easy it is for these people in power to slowly kind of shift what you're watching and what you're paying attention to, and who's disappearing the flock from the flock.
Which you guys would say is happening kind of now.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely think so. I think that the media has desensitized a lot of people. A A lot of people.
And I don't know if you guys have looked into it. A friend of mine sent me a video recently of independent journalists that are going around. There was one in Germany, there was one in New York, there was one in Italy. And if you look on the news, those places are in massive panic right now. Right. Hospitals are packed. There's people fighting in the hospital parking lots.
All the places that you just named off, right?
To name a few. Okay. Probably more.
More than likely.
And I don't know how much truth there is to this. I don't know. But my point is so she sent me a video of all of different independent journalists walking through these different hospitals and showing that they're basically empty. That they have barricades set up saying pandemic disaster drill in progress. And
wait, what? Say that one more time.
They have barricades with signs up, and I'm pretty sure this was in New York. It was either New York or Germany that they had signs up with barricades, so that people would go and file single line into the hospital, and there'd be signs saying, pandemic disaster drill in progress. I don't know if it was those exact words, but you get the gist of it.
Yeah.
Okay, and so there was multiple videos of people walking through saying, the day after, a news report would come through and say this hospital's packed. Somebody would walk by with their phone and nope, it's not packed. There's 2 people in there.
All right.
Okay, and so I posted that on Facebook and I asked some people for their opinion. Hey, what's going on with this? And I had several people, say, hey, I know people that are getting sick with this disease. Okay, and so one thing that I've noticed when I started talking to these people is everything that you see about these hospitals being overrun and hundreds of thousands of people are dying, every single one of them is coming from a major news broadcast station.
Right.
None of these are coming from independent reporters. These are all coming from people that are on someone's payroll. Okay. And so that just adds to the muddiness of this, situation,
Just adds to the fucking weirdness.
Yeah, right. Yeah, agreed. And so what I would like to see is I would like to see some independent reporters, independent journalists showing, these packed hospitals. Something that doesn't have a news logo on it.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that too. At the very beginning when all this, COVID-19 crap started going at it, you notice how it really started off that it was, we were all getting news reports, we were getting Facebook updates and everything.
It all started with like China.
All in China, exactly.
Yeah, it was
China is in ruins right now. They're freaking out. People are panicking. People aren't being able to go to work, And it started out that it's mainly China, okay? Everybody heard that it was mainly China that was having a rough time. They were the ones shutting down. Then it kind of bled over into Europe. And now they're having a pretty rough time too, And it started off with just like, they're doing it pretty rough. We should just kind of be careful. It's not that bad. Not a lot of people are dying. Mainly just old people. It's not that horrible of a virus, And then what? We had it here. It was, about a solid week? It was still not that bad. And then 1 week, that Monday, it was like, oh my gosh, guys.
Yeah.
This is scary. Mm-hmm. I remember it was the day of the earthquake.
Shit blew up.
Right? It was the day of the earthquake is when I really noticed it because I was like, whoa, that's something new to pay attention to. So the media kind of, they touched on that. There was an earthquake in Utah. Oh my goodness, this was crazy. Everybody was talking about it on the news and on the radio and everything. But then all of a sudden when you go back to the news and the radio and everything, whoa, it's like serious here, man. People are getting sick and old people are dying, and oh my gosh, you need to stay indoors. You need to stay 6 feet apart from people. Everybody's buying toilet paper. Oh my gosh, Funny how that happened in 24 hours.
Yep.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, it happened. It happened. That's what I was talking to your sister today when I was tattooing. Everything just went by so fast.
Yeah.
It almost felt like overnight. Like the streets were packed. 25th Street was on fire. Everything was lit. And then the next, like almost instantly overnight, it was just like, what the fuck happened, man?
And that's kind of how I look at the media. They have control. Okay, 90% of the people, if you stay at home, if you're not working all day, somebody's watching the news. Somebody's on their phone and they get a news story. The media right now, they have got pretty much ultimate control. What they say goes. Mm-hmm. If they say tomorrow we're going to have a COVID-19 citywide test, an alarm is going to go off, and you're supposed to stay inside your doors, people are going to do it. Mm-hmm. Okay? That is just what happens. They're going to do this. They have control, and they showed it from the very beginning. It's not that bad. Don't panic. It's okay. You don't need to panic, go and buy toilet paper. Stock up for 24 hours. Make it so you're good. And a couple days later, it was, stock up for 72 hours. That'd be smart. Mm-hmm. Now they're going, if you can, stock up for a week. Give yourself about a week's worth of supplies that you can live on. Whoa, wait a minute. You're just going to slip that in there? Like it's just like an afterthought? Oh, by the way, it's getting bad now.
Where did you hear all that?
I've primarily heard this on Fox 13. That's the news channel that we watch.
Trash.
Exactly. But it's common. It's that, the KSL, and then what is it? There's CNN, ABC. There's all these news channels, and I mean a lot of them are pretty local. I mean, for the most part, if you're gonna get your local news for anything, you go to one of the normal ass news stations, Fox 13, KSL, whatever. Yeah. And you get all your information from there, and they have daytime television, so they can have news from 6:00 in the morning till noon. Then they have a couple of things, and then they're gonna start it back up at 5. So you can pretty much get local news all day long. You could just tune on there, and they started it to avoid the panic. I believe, that let's just ease them into it. Mm-hmm. It's not bad. This virus is out there. It's not bad. Then it slowly became, hey, you need to stock up. Hey, now it's getting pretty bad, guys, but don't panic. Mm-hmm. Notice how they're trying to keep control on that panic. The moment the riots start happening in the street, then shit's really gonna go fast.
Shit's
really going
quick.
Yeah.
You said that it was that we were joking around the virus. You said we were joking about the virus. When this first kind of popped up. But you mentioned earlier that it could be a lot more serious than what we think. What do you mean by that? Like you say that healthy people are getting sick.
I think that if in the scenario that the virus is as serious as some people say it is.
Okay.
There's, like I said, there's obviously misinformation being spread.
Mm-hmm.
So, if this is as bad as they say it is, there's misinformation being spread to make us think that it's not as bad, so that more people are getting sick.
Okay.
So that by the time that they have to lock down everybody in the poor communities are already exposed because they've taken all this time to make as many people as possible think that it's not anything to worry about. And during that whole time, they've been spreading it. Meanwhile, everybody that knows what's really fucking going on behind the scenes has been up in their fucking mansions or been, out on their second property, just doing whatever, staying away, waiting for this shit to blow over because they know that it's been implanted into the society.
The high.
Yeah.
The high society.
Yeah, exactly. the
high society.
I don't know what to call them, but I kind of worry that this has been engineered in such a way to, and a lot of people are saying, it's come from animals. That's been proven. At this point, nothing's been fucking proven. Right. Everything is hearsay at this point.
Here's my take on it. Where did it come from? What, bats? You mean to tell me
I've heard pigs. I've heard bats. I've heard pangolins.
I've heard pigs.
And we've just had these animals forever?
Yeah.
And just one day, all of a sudden,
yeah.
Wow, one of them created something?
I don't know if you guys have ever noticed the chronological order of plagues. They're all about 100 years apart in the 20s.
Okay.
And so it's hard for me to believe that people are really dying from these symptoms at the rate that they're claiming to. Oh, and this is another thing too. Shit, I just kind of got sidetracked, but I have to say this before I forget. There's a guy, a YouTuber named Crow777. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's been kicked off of YouTube several times because of his conspiracy theory shit, because he kind of goes out there. But I watched a video on him recently, and he was saying that him and his resources, one person he got an email from of a doctor that was working in Italy. And the doctor said that we can't confirm or deny a lot of these cases. A lot of these people that are being diagnosed with the coronavirus are being diagnosed asymptomatically, which means they're not actually being tested. They're only showing symptoms. Okay. And another thing that's happening is he said that for a fact, I can say that a lot of people, a lot of bodies are being taken out of here that had nothing to do with any COVID symptoms and are being labeled as COVID for the cause of death. even though they had nothing to do with it. They had illnesses long before this came around, and then they died and got labeled with COVID cause. So that also adds to the fucking disillusion of it. Like, it's the numbers are inaccurate.
The milkiness of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So let me ask you real quick then.
Yeah.
Is this a natural born virus or is this man made?
In your
What do you
opinion.
think? Yeah, in your opinion, exactly.
In my opinion, I think that it is being strategically imprinted, strategically spread out through our society. So I don't know if you guys knew this, that one of the some of the very first countries that were hit was Iran and Italy. Well, in Iran, some of the top officials, the very high up people in the government were some of the first people to go. And so whether or not the source is irrelevant to me. Mm-hmm. It could have came from man-made. It could have came from animals. Either way, it's being used as a weapon.
Yeah, the fact that it just came up, is just like...
Yeah.
It allows them... Because I don't think everything's, like, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's no... There's this, like, this high order, high society, fucking big... It seems like global power at work here, right? That's what we're trying to get at, but... It's not like they have everything, like, every chess piece is, like, planned or anything. They kind of just go with the flow. And
really? That's what... Okay,
is that where you're going with that?
Or I kind of think that they do have a big grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
And not that necessarily...
It's kind of creepy, huh?
Yeah.
So for anybody that doesn't know, the light in Brandon's room just flickered, and they're listening to us now. They just tuned in, guys.
That's some real shit.
That motherfucker flicks all the time. Don't worry about it. It's like, it's cool, man. There's like, it flicks all the time. It's cool.
Today, in today's news, there was an accidental drone strike in Utah.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, no shit.
I mentioned that to... It was funny because, like, I think, like, 2 weeks back... Oh, no, it was that night we had to redo that episode. Like, we recorded, like, a whole hour and a half, but we only touched base on this a little... We're going deep here, that's for sure. We only touched base on COVID-19 for, like... a little bit, and then like when we were done recording, we played it back, and it was like it was all grumbly. Yeah, like that recording was all groggly. So it's like this like trash episode.
Right.
Like I remember I messaged to this friend of mine. I told her, I'm like, yo, the episode. She's like, how'd it go? I'm like, I think the government's onto us. So we'll see.
Right, yeah. If this comes out horrible too, that'll be a little
at that point I'm gonna be worried.
Yeah. Right, see, like, I actually told Brandon about this, right before, like, really sorry.
We got
Okay, I'm sorry, bro. I'm horrible at that.
We're getting used to it. We're getting used to it.
I get in a flow, and then I just forget about it.
It's cool, man.
Yeah, but I actually I talked to him back before, like, all this shit really started going hard, and I even think that this is the next level of war. I think this is the advanced warfare that everybody played in Call of Duty. I think this is it.
This is the big grab on the war on
I think this is it, because think about it.
Is that what you think?
Yeah, it's a war on consciousness.
See, like, I looked at it, okay, hear me out. World War I and World War II was essentially fought and won with large number of people shooting each other until one essentially said, okay, I'm done. Okay. World War II was ended a little bit more bluntly, with a big fucking bomb that said, stop. I said, stop. And they went, okay. All right, that hurt. All right, we'll stop now. That's essentially how World War II ended, okay? Big fucking bomb.
Yeah.
Stop. We're done.
Yeah.
We will fuck shit up if you keep going, okay? When a power like that presents itself, how does one fight that, okay? And power always brings forth, problems, I guess you could say.
Power corrupts, absolutely.
Exactly, so I mean, when a power like that presents itself, how do you fight that?
Stop feeding it.
Right?
I mean, that's what we're all doing as a community.
Okay, but
by spending the money that we spend and supporting the businesses and the industries that we do, we are feeding them.
Well, okay. That's my issue though, is because I don't, not all of it.
Right. No, not all of it. Don't get me wrong.
Because
there are exceptions.
Well, yeah, because I'm right now on trying to spend money on like different food places because like I know those guys are fucking hurting.
Right. No, I completely behind local businesses and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I'm talking like the trillionaires,
big pharma, big fucking...
and like you see now all of a sudden, now that, you know, the people that are cleaning up their garbage and the people that are fucking making their food, now that those people that did not before deserve more than minimum wage, all of a sudden, now that they're considered essential, these billionaires are suddenly like, yeah, sure, you can have free healthcare, yeah, sure, you guys can have this bonus check, sure, you know, we'll make money come up out of thin air so that you guys can keep making us fucking money and keep shoveling our shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
We love you.
That's
you know?
That's essentially how, you know, the rise of communism starts. Because
Right.
the guys up top, they're going, well, let's see. We could pay these guys individually how they are. But they want more. Due to working minimum wage, they want more. Mm-hmm. They want benefits. They want to be able to go to school. And they want to be able to go home. And they want to be able to have these essential things. Healthcare. If they get sick, they want to be able to go to the hospital and have that figured out, you know? That's essentially how it's going to take over. Mm-hmm. Here. Healthcare, okay?
Yep.
Everybody's going to have healthcare. But we're going to tax the shit out of you so that everybody can afford it, right? Mm-hmm. And you're just going to make up for it in taxes, okay? Mm-hmm. So now everybody's paying a big chunk of taxes, okay? Minimum wages are going to start going up, so everybody's going to start making more money, but you're paying more taxes. Okay, so then essentially now you're not making as much money. Okay, at the end of the day, when you take a check home, yeah, it's more, but your taxes are more now too. So now you're paying more out. You go to the grocery store, you buy something, you pay taxes. Mm-hmm. When that rises to the point that it balances it out, you're free because you can work and you can do what you want to do, but you're paying so much into the system that everybody's got free healthcare. And everybody's got to go to school. And everybody can go to school. You can go to school and you can have all your tuition paid for because we're the government and you're awesome and you pay us taxes. Okay, so now everybody's paying. Everybody's paying through the nose. Everybody's legit. Now everybody's kind of making the same amount of money because everybody's paying the same amount of money. So you got to make more money to accommodate spending more money. So now everybody's making about the same. The guys up there that make a lot of money, they're just paying a lot more money. Right. Guys that don't make a lot of money, that's all right because they're making more money now. So now they're spending more money. Now everybody's almost on the same playing field. Now the doctors, they're making more money, you know, but they're paying more. So now they're getting more and more down in the lower classes. And the lower classes are coming up. And now we're almost all in the same fucking area. You know, there is no high class, there's no low class. Because everybody's got the same benefits. But everybody's kind of paying into it. But everybody gets what they want because now you're getting paid more. You see? And now people are excited. I could go to school. Mm-hmm. Holy crap, I could do that and it not cost me a fortune. But it's costing all of us a fortune. How do you justify that?
What are we giving up for that?
Exactly. You're giving up the freedom to do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. Because now everybody's on the same playing field. Sure, it makes it easy, makes it nice. A lot of people they're gonna benefit from it. A lot of people are gonna benefit from it. And a lot of people, they're not really gonna be hurting at first because they don't want the shock, they don't want the panic, you see? But if they can kind of mellow it out a little bit and ease it in, ease people into this. No, you're not losing your rights. You're not losing anything. Yeah, there's just a lot of fucking laws you gotta follow.
It's just so fucking subtle, man.
It's so subtle. Nobody's even I don't even see the bigger picture.
It gives me, because there's so much strangeness to it, and so much. Almost so much going on, it feels like behind closed doors.
Exactly.
Yeah. That even like those who, and you're saying a war on consciousness, which I want to kind of touch a base on here in a sec. Okay. That those of us who are kind of looking at it and not just following the herd mentality again, following what everyone else is doing, going out, panic spending, panic buying, staying in their houses, finding a reason to stay home and not do shit. It's just like... It's really strange when you see a lot of people do that, and then you kind of see yourself who's kind of questioning all this,
right?
And almost like, okay, I don't even know what's going on. I'm confused.
Right. You know? Am I insane? Am I fucked up, or are you all fucked up? I don't know.
Right. Yeah. You did mention a war on consciousness, and what do you?
So, I've heard a lot. I don't know if you ever heard of Graham Hancock.
I've heard of him. Yeah, he did like super ayahuasca trips.
Yeah, he's been on Joe Rogan a lot. Yeah. He's an amazing guy, and this is where I've got a lot of this from. And this is why I think that psychedelics and cannabis have been, illegal and frowned upon for so long, is because as we've experienced, that shit's not addictive.
You've done quite a bit.
Yeah, I actually did DMT the other day, just 2 days ago. Yeah. Yeah, I fucking
The first
died.
time?
No, it was my second time.
Oh, okay.
But this time I fucking died.
That shit's whack,
I
dude.
died.
That shit's crazy.
It was insane. Yeah, bro. Anyway, that's a whole other rabbit hole. But so the reason,
which we'll fall into in a second.
Oh, I'm
we
sure.
gotta get off this topic.
Oh, man.
I'm sure. No, and see, and that's one of the things
It's fucking...
is we've experienced. I don't know about you, but me personally,
I saw some shit.
I was
Weird shit.
I was one of these fucking people that we're referring to. These people that are fucking shut in, fucking eating junk food all fucking day, not exercising, stuck on a fucking TV, not giving a fuck.
Oh, yeah,
anything
same,
other than
same.
other
Yeah.
than immediate
I think all of those
gratification.
come from-
Okay, I don't know about for you. Everybody's got their own sort of changing moment in their life, but mine came through psychedelics, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same.
me too,
Yeah,
yeah.
same.
Yeah, no.
So I cannot,
Well, one of them,
and
yeah.
not only that, like just all of the propaganda and all the fear that they've spread. Like I don't know if you guys ever had like Dare in high school. Do you guys
Yeah.
remember Dare?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That shit, they are.
Oh, the
using-
drug and alcohol.
yeah,
That's right. I was
yeah,
gonna say, I'm like,
yeah.
we played Dare. I was like, truth or Dare? No, but I know what you mean now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the drug.
You got dare to resist against drugs and alcohol, my friend. There you go. It's been a minute.
Acronym for drugs are really exciting.
Yeah, but stay away from them. Really, listen to us.
No, well, and my whole experience with them is it all depends on the context. If you take you hear conspiracy theories about how the CIA has had their fingers in cocaine and heroin and meth coming into the country.
Yeah.
You've never heard about the CIA bringing in mushrooms or LSD, okay?
Okay.
Because cocaine and heroin and LSD, they're all fucking traps. They trap your consciousness. They prevent growth, and they're addictive.
Okay.
Okay, any kind of hallucinogen, more often than not, you need a fucking break. Like don't get me wrong, I've had my binges where I've been like every other weekend, but it's not like something that you're fucking craving, you know. Like me personally, I've never like been like, oh man, I really need to fucking hit acid right now. No,
Right.
No,
See, I feel that like
never.
psychedelics are kind of more of a personality addiction type thing. That if
Right.
if you fall in love with it to the point that you do it over and over and over and over, then yeah, you will become dependent on it. But I feel that it's the same way with like marijuana.
Right.
You could be addicted to marijuana and not be like physically addicted. Where
Right.
like people with alcoholism, they literally need it. I mean, if they go without it, they go into withdrawals. They'll start
Yeah.
shaking, freaking out, getting sick. Like they literally need it.
With heroin addicts.
Yeah,
too.
heroin addicts.
Yeah.
Yeah, because their body becomes so dependent on it to
Right.
actually function that it cannot function without it. That's why, like, a lot of people on prescription medication, stuff like that, they've got to ease themselves out of it because they've got to take smaller doses, a little bit at a time, so that they don't legitimately melt down. And some people can die from withdrawals.
Oh, yeah.
It's very common that people do this.
Really?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I feel that psychedelics are kind of more like a personality addictive trait.
Right.
Because like me, I smoked weed, what was it, last year, I smoked it like religiously. It was like an everyday type thing.
Right.
And it was to the
Same.
point where like I would come home and like if I didn't have it, like going to bed
You'd
at
be
night, it
fiending
was
for
like
it,
it was
man.
like, what the fuck, dude? Like I can't sleep. Why can't I sleep? And it was like, damn, because I didn't smoke weed. Oh man, I really want to smoke weed now. Or if I get bored, it's like, well yeah, I could just go smoke some weed, And so like I became almost like mentally hooked on it. That's a good way of putting it. That I didn't need it. It wasn't necessary for life. It's just that my body was craving it. Because it was like, damn, I'm hooked on that shit. Kind of like coffee.
Right.
You ever get hooked on coffee and then
yeah.
go without it for 2 or 3 days? Yeah, me neither.
And I
I haven't gone 2 or 3 days without coffee ever.
Well, that's fuck, man. Caffeine's great. I'll tell
Right?
you.
But I view that as the same way. Caffeine is just as addictive.
Right.
It
a lot of
is, and
shit.
a lot of us are addicted.
A lot of us
Fucking
are-
America does run on some coffee, man.
Yeah,
It
coffee, sugar, stuff like that.
Everybody's got an addiction, and I kind of find cannabis to be kind of on the border, personally,
Right.
because it's one of those things where you can get addicted to the act of smoking
Yeah.
rather than the effect, and that was kind of my case for a while too, because I'm kind of still on that boat of, if I don't smoke a bowl before bed, I'm going to stay up until 4 in the fucking
Really?
morning.
I broke that this year, dude.
Yeah,
that was
see-
not easy.
See, and I can totally relate to that, and that's why I can say that it's kind of on the threshold of being one of those physically and mentally addictive things because it does kind of have a little bit of a mixture.
Yeah.
And not only that, it's just. It goes hand in hand with so many fucking things.
Right, yeah, and your body gets
coffee
used to
and
it.
alcohol,
That's
and
the way I think of
cigarettes,
it.
and whatever.
It's one of those things too that's like, I think marijuana is viewed in society. I call it just like the lazy man's heroin, man. I call it,
Okay.
Yeah, and I do because like for like, and that's for me because I was the same way. I would smoke weed all the fucking time, bro. Even I smoked more weed in the Marine Corps than I did in the Marine Corps, bro. I just swear to God.
Yeah.
I smoked so much fucking pot in the military, bro. And
Oh yeah, man.
and I don't know what it is about it. Yeah, like I think it's because our society views it as like, oh, it's healthy.
Okay.
It's okay to use. It helps with like certain like, but I think we can overdo it just due to the fact that how the public eye views marijuana versus how I think marijuana, you can use it a proper way. There's a proper way to use anything.
Right.
You know, including alcohol. That's a social lubricant. If you know, if you don't get plastered drunk every fucking night of your life, or you know, you're looking for a drink every night. Like, no, you can use it, and you know, you can. It helps you socialize more if you're like very shy and stuff. Like,
is marijuana a gateway drug?
It's a gateway drug to my fucking fridge.
Okay, that's a fucking fact, bro. I finally got to smoke a J this weekend for the first time all year, and I did it yesterday and then this morning, and I have eaten more snacks and sweets and fucking weird shit in the last 2 days than I have probably all year, bro. Like, I have yet to sit down and just be like, I'm okay. I don't need anything to eat. Like, I'll sit down. I'm like, oh my god,
dude,
I gotta go get some chips.
Dude, you go forever without smoking pot. You come back, dude. You eat like
Oh my
your
God,
stomach
bro.
just is like.
Last night, oh dude, I took such a fat shit this morning, dude. Like, I ate so much last night. I just couldn't stop eating. Like, oh my god, it's bad.
We got some topics so much. Like, this is great though.
I love it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Okay, but really, is it a gateway drug? Do you think?
Um,
It's taught as it is. I remember the DARE program. They all said that marijuana was a gateway drug. That you should be scared of it.
I think it depends on the context.
I think it depends on the person.
Okay, what do you guys mean? What do you mean context first?
A lot of variables, and I agree that it does depend on the person. We all have our own chemistry. You
Yeah.
know? We're all our own individual ecosystems that's going to react differently to any kind
I
of
like the way you
stimulus.
said
Right?
that
Very-
shit.
yeah, I
shit
like
was-
that.
That
Yeah.
shit was tight.
The ecosystem. No, I do like that.
No, you're right.
Absolutely.
No, it's true though.
It is.
I believe you,
completely. And so my thing is I think that the whole reason that that marijuana got the label as a gateway drug is because it was illegal. Because the only place you could get it is from a drug dealer, the guy that's also selling cocaine and meth and heroin.
Yeah, you're right.
He wants to up his profit, just like these businessmen that are selling fucking, the pharmaceutical industry. He operate the same fucking way.
Right.
They put you on one pill and then they get you on the
exactly.
next.
Yeah, yeah.
You like that shit? Try this shit.
See, I'm kind of weird. I completely agree that it is a gateway drug.
Yeah.
To me, it was 100% a gateway drug.
But do you think if it
Oh no, I
I'm
agree,
a 1,000%. Yeah, I mean, I am
it
in
made me
favor
want
of
to try
that
new
statement.
shit.
Absolutely. I was high. I was sitting there, and then I started thinking. I was like, oh my god. This thinking thing is cool because it's not my way of thinking. It's a different thinking, you know? Like, tell me I'm wrong.
No, it does. It gives you a different perspective.
And then you're like, and
Different
then here's the
perspective.
thing. I had that thought, and I was like, I wonder what the other ones are like.
That's exactly what Dude, I was like sitting there thinking, I was like, man, I bet if I try some of those other things, I would think even harder, you know? Like, it was just like, oh my god, I want to try those things, you know? It hit me, and it was like, oh yeah,
But for some reason, I always knew to stay away from like meth,
certain drugs, yeah.
from like heroin.
Me too.
Always, for me at least,
Yeah.
there was a thought before. I'm like, fuck. I mean, I did try coke for like a good week, you know.
Right.
And I always thought about, hey, what is heroin like? But it wasn't never like I have to go because I
Yeah.
saw what it really does.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, you were informed enough to stay away from it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Me too.
Well, and see, you guys are kind of changing my perspective on that a little bit. Because I was, for a long time, I was really against it being a gateway drug,
Right.
because of, me personally, I would always say if it was legal and if we didn't have to buy it from drug dealers, if we could just go to a reliable place with educated people that have your best intentions in mind, as the pharmaceutical companies claim, if that were an option, would you ever even consider other drugs?
Okay.
If they were never brought to your attention in the first place, because we manifest what we focus on. So if you're constantly trying to think of trying new experiences to expand your mind, and what's available to you is cocaine and meth and heroin and whatever, then that's likely the paths that you're going to follow more often than not. But it's kind of funny because your guys' conversation has kind of helped me realize, like, holy shit, like, because I've experimented. You know, I've tried cocaine, I've tried fucking meth. You know, and
you tried that all. I didn't know you tried meth.
Yeah, I tried it once when I was in high school. And,
really?
Yeah, and you know what's so fucking funny about it is I was in a fucking drug program. Most of the fucking drugs that I've done, other than fucking meth, was introduced to me while I was on fucking probation, while I was hanging out with other people. You know, and that's one thing that's fucked up about our whole prison system in our rehab, you know, mentality that we have is to lock people up and to you know, all these people are bad, so put them in a fucking box because that'll teach them a lesson. No, that fucking doesn't work that way. They sit inside of that box and they share war stories and they come up with other ways of not getting caught. Right. You know, that's what they do, and I've been there too. You know, and so
you went to it was a juvie.
Yeah, I spent most of high school locked up.
Yeah. Okay. You told me, how long?
It was about 2.5 years off and on.
Yeah, you told me some crazy crazy fucking stories from that shit.
Yeah, dude, like, there's, like, so I've experienced firsthand, and this was one of the reasons I'm kind of worried about this lockdown, is I've experienced firsthand what happens to people when you lock them down in a confined area for
I think two things happens.
You know?
And two things happen, and a lot of, like, you know, there's great examples. Mm-hmm. There's Nelson Mandela. There's Malcolm X. There's this famous spot. That's what can happen. That's what should happen for the most part because of statistics. Like, you can look at the statistics. Most people who do get locked up and shit end up committing crimes again. And stuff like that.
It's cabin fever. I mean, we've all seen The Shining. You go nuts. You're trapped up with somebody. You can't leave. Yeah, people do get they get testy.
Mm-hmm. Most people.
A lot of people.
It fucks with the chemistry of your brain though. Yeah. Because you're not you're repeating the same fucking thing over and over and over.
Most people can't do that. Right.
Exactly, and it fucking puts your brain on a feedback loop, and it's fucking bad.
Yeah, we're creatures of habit. We do it no matter what.
Agreed, but and the thing is with habit is maintaining the same habit for so long, you start to, you know, blend all your days, weeks, and months together into one long blur of fuck me, you know.
Well, see, okay, I actually read Evolve Your Brain by Joe Dispenza, and throughout the course of this book, okay, it's an intense book. It's
one of my favorite authors.
It's like reading a freaking textbook at points, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, but he goes on to saying that us as creatures, you know, our brains are hardwired to get into a habit. Okay, so you wake up and like he uses it that we actually get addicted to the habit. Yeah. Okay, because your brain, it secretes all kinds of, you know, chemicals throughout the course of the day that when you're happy, you get really happy chemicals, and when you're sad, you get really sad chemicals, and throughout the course of your day, you know, if you have the same things over and over and over, you wake up, you're not really happy, so your body gets all hooked on you're not happy first thing in the morning. You shower, you get cleaned up and everything, you go to work, you go get some Starbucks because you're getting some coffee on the way to work. Hey, you're starting to produce happiness, you know, so your body gets hooked on that. Wake up unhappy, get happy, go to work, mellow out, get angry at work, come home, sit in traffic, get angry in traffic, come home, you eat dinner, and then you're happy again. So your body gets into this rhythm that, like, okay, we should be happy now, we should be unhappy now, we should be happy, because this habit is formed and created that it just will naturally secrete these, you know, these chemicals to make you happy or unhappy. Yep. And when you change that violently just overnight, then your body's going to start kind of like rebelling, sort of. No, I'm supposed to be in traffic mad as hell right now. Exactly. I can't be in the living room enjoying a movie. I have to be upset. So all of a sudden your body's upset. You don't know why you're upset, but your body knows why you're upset because it's always upset at this time. You know, its habit is to be upset. So you throw off people's normal schedules like this. You send them home. Go home. You can't leave. You can't go to work now because now you're not essential, so you have to stay home. Okay, now your butt hurt because you can't go to work, you're not getting money. Now you're even more than upset. So then it's just throwing people off and pissing the world off. You know, there's been a higher rate of domestic violence reports to the police officer than anything else right now.
Really?
That is the number one call in the police force right now is domestic abuse. You know, people are getting pissed. Yeah. I can't go to work. You're pissing me off. Make the kids stop working. Now there's a fight. Boom.
There's a lot of divorce lawyers out there rubbing their hands together.
They're happy as shit, dude. They're like, right on, man.
Now they're stuck with the spouses are stuck together.
Right. Yeah, just something that may have been thought of originally. Hey, we're gonna jack up lawyer prices real quick because we're gonna have some shit go down, or this is spin-off of just some shit that's going down.
That's the politician's motto: never waste a good crisis.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, I like that.
No, I want to put it on a good note though, because yeah, there's a lot of craziness going on. We just got into like the big conspiracy shit about it.
Oh god, I could go on for hours.
I know,
Dude, seriously. We've touched the tip of the iceberg, maybe.
Barely,
Just the tip, bro.
Just the fucking tip.
This episode was just the tip.
But I think
tune in for more, fellas.
we definitely gotta have you back, man.
I agree.
Absolutely.
But like, my thing is also, is there not just a chance too, though? Is there not just a chance also that, yeah, maybe some weird shit's going on, but at the end of the day, like, we're gonna be all right?
I've had this conversation with somebody recently too, and I believe, as we've experienced, you grow through struggle.
100%.
And I can theorize, in my crazy, imagination, that the people that we are been talking shit on this whole time, the people in control, the 1%, whatever name you want to give them, if they have some sort of knowledge about our future or our process of growth as a collective consciousness, and they're implementing these struggles so that we can overcome them as a society, that I can see is, being a light at the end of the tunnel, maybe.
Okay.
I hope that there could be some sort of like tough love here.
See, I look at it like, if this is a man-made craziness, I guess you could say, if this was organized by a group, I do not believe that they would have done this without some grand picture in the end. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean grand picture like, the light at the end. I mean, like, I'm talking. Yeah, I'm talking a fucking big picture where everybody benefits. Mm-hmm. Okay, a lot of people are gonna be fucked,
right?
Because that's in any war you undertake, shit's gonna go south.
Right.
Shit's gonna suck for a minute. That's the nature of war. But I do think that if this is created by any one person, that there is a bigger picture coming. That we do not see it. Because we are just the people. What the fuck do we know?
We're fucking monkeys.
We're fucking monkeys, dude. We just listen to the media. We listen to the masses. Okay, so we're not gonna know about it. 5 years from now, we might know about it. We might be living it
once the information is declassified.
Yeah, well, no, I think we're gonna see it firsthand. So I think it's gonna be, everybody's joking around about the New World Order. Mm-hmm. So my uncle, he jokes around. He goes, "Oh man, it's the New World Order. Are your papers in order?" Okay, because in Nazi Germany, that's what they used to do. They would stop you. Hey, you! Who are you? Oh, I'm so and so. Okay, give me your papers. Let me check.
Notice how we already got those papers?
Yeah, you notice you got that already?
Because we're essential employees.
Exactly. So let me see your papers. Yeah. So they're gonna stop you. They check that you're legit, that you're not out here causing trouble, fucking around. All right, on about your day. Mm-hmm. Or hey, wait a minute, you're not supposed to be out here. You're coming with us. Right. So the jokes are, are your papers in order and all this? But no, I think that when we do see that, it'll affect us. It will create a new world order, if that so need be. Okay, which I'm sure is going to happen. You don't have this much craziness without something changing.
Right.
When that does change, it might be for the better. It might help every damn one of us. We might benefit from it immensely. It may be a fucking chaos shitstorm to get there, but no, I think we might accidentally get there. Especially if it's man-made. If this isn't just a natural, Mother Nature getting pissed because we fucked the world up for so many damn years. If it's that case, then I don't see much help in that.
Right,
I think Mother Nature's pretty pissed.
We can't fuck with nature.
Exactly.
She wins by default.
She wins by default every time.
Every time.
And we've been fucking this world up hard. The humanity, we have not been nice to this world.
You think climate change real?
Absolutely.
Okay.
See, I've been...
Okay, yeah, let's see it. Come at me. Come on, Ernest.
No, from what I don't know.
Even if climate change isn't real, even if it is a pattern, because
it's a load of shit.
Well,
it's all they all fucking say.
The Earth goes through hot and cold cycles, but you can't deny the fucking mountains of garbage that are floating in our ocean.
Exactly.
You can't deny the fucking hundreds and thousands of acres of trees that are fucking gone, and the fucking countless of species that we've gone extinct.
But all of a sudden, these next couple of years, a big hurricane happens, right? That's shit's been happening. Since the dawn of time.
Right.
Okay. Now it's climate change.
Well,
that used to be the weather.
Same thing with pandemic. We've had pandemics our entire history as well.
Do you think that the world Okay, Earth.
I don't think it's really a load of shit.
No. I'm saying this.
I had to
do you believe that the Earth is a living entity?
I do.
Okay.
I do, man.
That it lives and does its own damn thing?
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
And it is experiencing itself through us.
Exactly. We live on this rock that is living, doing its fucking thing. I'm a firm believer in
And maybe the Earth is fucking pulling out some shit like, yo,
Dude.
I believe it. I believe it.
It's like,
That they're like, guys, you're pissing me the fuck off.
I'm gonna kill off some of you motherfuckers right now.
I'm gonna do a quick little shake and watch y'all freak out, you know? Like,
you guys got your notes, and for you and your listeners, I want to leave you with some homework. If there's a couple of videos that you guys should try and watch.
all right.
So
We'll make the links.
they're both on YouTube.
Okay.
And the first one is called "What is Consciousness?" ? What is its purpose? ?
Okay.
I can't remember exactly who that's by, but like that movie, I don't know, was one of those fucking eureka moments for me.
It's like, fuck.
Yeah. And so the other
those.
one is called Zeitgeist. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. Have you guys heard of the
Nah, how do you
Zeitgeist
spell
movies?
that?
Zeitgeist.
Yeah, we put you on the spot there.
Zeitgeist.
Okay, Zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist, the movie. There's actually 3 of them. Zeitgeist is by Peter Joseph. You might want to write that down too, because when you look at it in YouTube, there's one version that'll try to get you to buy. Look for the one that has Peter Joseph's name in the title.
Okay.
It's got like a little bit of the audio and the introduction missing, but this fills in a lot of the fucking blanks and kind of gives you some backstory as to a lot of the things that we've been talking about.
Okay.
And keep in mind too, with the Zeitgeist movie specifically, there's been a lot of other movies similar to this that have been removed, so they portray this video as a fictional movie.
Okay.
And you'll kind of pick up on that towards the end and as it goes through. But I believe that they made it seem fictional in order to actually have it available for us to view.
Oh.
But there's 3 of them, and they're kind of, mind fucks, So I recommend people to look at them, because whether or not any of that information is true, whether or not it vibes with you, it's good to at least kind of get as many perspectives as possible.
Yeah,
as to,
spread the knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. At least open your mind. At least,
think a little
accept the possibilities,
Yeah.
because there's so much out there that, really, like, anybody that tells you they know what's going on or they have the answers, they're full of shit, because we are so, inhibited and blocked off by our 5 senses that we can only, what's the fucking word I'm looking for? Perceive, exact, thank you. Get out of my head. We can only perceive so much at one time,
Harris has a tendency to do that.
Yeah,
It's all good.
He also knows when you shit every time of the day.
Yeah, I get my hairs go up, dude. It's crazy.
Oh, cool. Well,
He'll call me in the mornings like, "Yo, you taking shit?" I'm like, "Hell yeah."
cool. Well,
Good.
No, I'm
Good.
joking.
You'll be feeling me about 4:30 tomorrow morning.
Man, I need a good alarm clock.
Cool, man.
Real quick. I don't know. Is that what we kind of meant on like the war of consciousness stuff?
Yeah. Well, and see, so the war on consciousness is really just
Finally getting to this question.
people trying, people, the powers that be trying to keep people dumb, keep people from
Not doing
questioning
these
things,
drugs, not doing the
that's the
psychedelics.
reason that alcohol is legal and pot up until recently was illegal, is because pot, we think, we've experienced, we can't say we think or we know, but we've experienced that it expands consciousness and it allows us it encourages us to question authority.
Right.
Whereas alcohol, that shit just numbs you. That shit just sit down, shut the fuck up, and have a drink.
Yeah.
Pop your fucking pills and wash it down with some whiskey.
Yeah.
That's what they want, And we've seen what that happens. We've seen what that does to people. We've had, like, I almost everybody in my life knows somebody or has been through the struggle of opiate and alcohol addiction.
Yeah.
And yet somehow it's fucking glorified in our society.
Right.
And
Just a way to control the masses, man.
exactly.
That's crazy.
And so what's such a shame about it is there's so many people that are in denial of this. There's so many people that are attached to that comfort and instant gratification and whatnot, to the point where it becomes fearful to stray outside of it. Like how
Absolutely.
you were talking about earlier, over a matter of time, the body starts to tell the mind what to do. After you've replayed the same habit and been on the same loop for so long, you lose control of yourself because you're chasing what feels good and what keeps you stable rather than what keeps you moving forward. Because,
Right.
once you do nothing but fucking drink or sit at home all day, fucking going outside and hiking or questioning a police officer is like fucking not gonna happen,
right.
You know? And that's another thing that I really worry about too, is like just, you know, police officers in our military, they're in this too. Their minds are just as malleable as ours.
Right.
And I worry that they could be seriously fucking brainwashed as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can't help but wonder if it ever does get to the point where we have, you know, troops rolling up through the streets, whether or not they're going to be conscious or even, you know, informed as to what their purpose even is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's another thing that really terrifies me, is because I know that a lot of those people have best intentions for the public, but the road to hell is paved in good intentions.
Exactly. So real quick, what do you advise that us as people, what do you think we should probably do more of?
As far as
keep ourselves informed, what do you think we should probably do?
That's a hard thing right now because of all the misinformation, and what I would do and what I've been doing is just watch everything that you can, but take it all with a grain of salt and try to read between the lines.
Okay.
You know, when the news is telling you that all of these states are getting locked down and all these new laws are getting enforced, well, they're going to tell you why they're enforcing these laws and why they're doing these lockdowns, but you also have to think that who else is benefiting from these.
Okay.
Follow the chain of money to see who's funding these studies, see who's, you know, who's funding these reporters, who's paying these people to say what they're saying.
Okay.
Because that's one thing that Zeitgeist movie talks a lot about, is if you go back into like past world wars, you know, you follow the chain of money to see who pays for what, and we know, and this has been declassified, I believe so anyway. I can't really remember my sources. Next time we talk, I'm going to fucking come down with a list of fucking sources so that we can fact check this shit. But like false flags, like there's the conspiracy theorists of 9/11 being a false flag. There's the Lusitania that got us into World War I, and there was Pearl Harbor that got us into World War II. You know, a lot of these things, they were planned and orchestrated by people that funded both sides of those wars. You know, and the Vietnam War, like this is also covered in the Zeitgeist movie. That movie, like they after like years after it happened, turns out it started completely fucking on accident. But the people that funded it became fucking trillionaires in a matter of years. You know, so it's just a lot of dissolution. It's a lot of there's always going to be naysayers, and there's always going to be, you know, misinformation.
Be more apt to question things,
exactly,
right?
yeah, and it's not so much revolting, and it's not so much everybody taking to the streets and rioting, because that's definitely not gonna fucking.
It's not going to benefit anybody.
Exactly. What we have to realize is that we are the lifeblood of this country. We, the society, our communities, are what are making these people rich, what are giving these people power. If we, as a community, decide to say, fuck you, you know, we're done, then what are they going to do? They're going to really go around and they're going to kill their entire livestock and start over? You know, maybe.
Do you
think
we still
fucking thought.
Do you think we still have this ability?
That's hard to say. It's you know, I think that we do with the social media.
Okay.
If we can get enough people on board and get enough people connected and get enough people at least questioning things. But like I said, that Earn It bill, you're not going to be able to fucking contact anybody on social media with anything that's against what the government is, other than what the government has considered essential.
Right.
You know?
See, because I view it like I essentially think that we don't have this ability anymore. I think we have since essentially lost it. We have put so much faith into social media, into our modern day life. I mean, think about it. If they really wanted to stop us, okay, and I've even put a lot of thought into this. If they wanted to control us all, how many roads do you know that get stopped by a train?
I mean, you can even come right here. There's a lot.
There's a lot of roads that get stopped by a train, right?
Yeah.
So how easy would it be if they just pulled up a bunch of train cars, empty train cars, locked off a bunch of the streets? Now they limited transportation.
Yep.
Okay, they now have control over sectioned off areas. They then limit fuel. You now no longer can drive.
Yep.
You can no longer get in your vehicle. Doesn't matter. You can fight as hard as you want because they own electricity. Yep. They own and control the internet.
And the water.
The communication. They own and control all of it. I don't buy that we can revolt.
And see, and that's the thing, is we can't revolt. We can just stop feeding them.
How so?
Just everybody, that's a fucking good question.
Right.
You know, that is a very fucking good question because we have to support ourselves, and if they make everything that we do to support ourselves fucking illegal, you know, and that's the thing is we have to.
Yeah, you've seen Family Guy, right? You're a Family Guy fan at all?
I've seen a lot of it.
Okay, there's the episode where Peter tries building a swimming pool.
Yeah.
And he learns that his property isn't part of the United States, so he creates Pretoria.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I envision that it all goes down. He's going to be his own country. Fuck you, I don't have to do anything. So they shut off electricity. They shut off water.
Yeah.
They shut off everything. Okay, fine.
Yep.
Then he's going to declare war. Fuck you, America, I don't have to do this. So then they declare war, and they've got the military all around his house, and I guess I can't really do this. Okay, never mind. Fine, you know. See, so okay.
That is a very good point.
Right?
Well, here's the thing. I want to keep going, but our next guest is here. We gotta wrap this up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna end it on a positive note.
Yeah, let's see this.
And say, hey, let's just keep doing what we are doing.
Absolutely.
Let's keep life going in America as if nothing is happening.
Right. Try and stay as positive as possible.
Straight positive, but at the same time, to go to the store and act like, you know.
Yeah, that's what I did, dude. Yeah, I mean, it's weird outside.
Go still on hikes and stuff. Go help local businesses. Like, just keep the machine going in the good machine.
Yeah.
The good machine, the good people, the honest people.
The whole machine's not evil.
No, and it's not. And it's not
all evil.
And it's not. But, like, and again, as we feed into this more, like, they only win too.
Yeah.
If we just stay, hey, we're gonna keep it right, and we're gonna fight for what we believe in a good way.
Yeah.
You know, I think really we can pull through this. But yeah, Jared, it was great having you here, man.
Agreed.
We do gotta call it.
No worries. I'm excited to get some feedback. Anybody that has, you know, feedback, any fucking criticism, fucking let me hear it. You know.
Yeah,
where can I find you?
Yeah.
Facebook
or
yeah, you can find me on Facebook. I don't get on it very much, you know.
So what's your Facebook
especially
name?
Late Look. It's just my name, Jared Long.
Jared Long on Facebook.
I fucking not. You know, I'm one of those guys. I change my profile picture like once every 2 or 3 years.
I get you.
You know,
I get you.
I'll post shit that I find funny. And
4 years to change it.
yeah. See, and I don't.
My picture still has me with short hair, like super short hair. like it's not that anymore.
See, and I've never had like Instagram or any of that shit.
Okay,
Like,
so mainly Facebook. That's how we can contact you.
Yeah,
okay.
and I try to, you know, have most of my interactions face to face on a personal basis.
Yeah,
so,
right on. So if they wanted to contact you, probably look you up on Facebook.
Yeah,
Right
and
on.
I'm always trying to meet up with people, especially, you know, people that are looking to just have conversations like this one. Cause this fucking shit gets the juices flowing.
Absolutely,
Yeah, no, I'm sure we could do another hour or two.
Easy.
Which we'll have to plan to
Easily.
do here in the next like 2 weeks or so.
For sure, dude.
But yeah, is there anything else you want to leave? Best advice you ever received, and we'll call it.
Yeah.
Best advice I ever received. A lot of people like to talk about death, and a lot of people like to fear death.
Okay.
And one of the best things I ever heard, and I fucking wish I could remember who heard it, who said it, not who heard it, I was the one that heard it. When you die, you will take everything that you gave, and you will lose everything that you kept.
Okay.
So, I always think about that.
Yeah, that's deep.
Ever since then, I like
that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
And one thing that I've learned too is if you don't have anything to give, you don't feel like you have anything to give, just give time.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is fucking valuable, and that's something that is irreplaceable, you know? And
It's
that's
more
one thing a lot
valuable
of
than money.
fucking employers don't get.
Right.
Is they have so much fucking money, and we're trading it for something that is irreplaceable.
Yeah, time. That's it. I think it's way more expensive than money.
Yeah,
Any day.
agreed.
Give someone your time. You got it.
Just got to increase the value of your own time.
Right. Well, this is Harris.
And this is Herna and
Jared Long.
All right,
Right
nice
on,
having you,
man.
man. We'll have you back for sure because we got more stuff to talk about.
Looking forward to it.
This has been the Power of 8 show, episode 6. Thanks for tuning in, and yeah,
We'll see you when we see you.
stay vigilant. Fuck.
Stay positive, guys.
Stay positive and vigilant. Yeah.
Stay mindful.
There you go.
Pay attention.
All right. Peace.
Peace.